Infiniti's new look QX60 debuted for the 2022 model year, the mid-size three-row SUV previewing the square shoulders and smooth rectilinear forms that designers honed for the 2022 model year full-size 2025 QX80. A 9-speed automatic replaced the mediocre continuously variable automatic transmission, but its 3.5-litre V6, the sole powertrain available since 2018, stuck around. After testing a 2023 QX60 with the V6 and ZF-sourced automatic, we concluded our review with qualified praise. The QX60's core competencies are much improved, but Infiniti needs to reach further to cement this model's premium brand bona fides. The V6's 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque kept the QX60 sprightly enough to hang with the herd. However, peak torque didn't arrive until 4,800 RPM. Peak horsepower required a trip to the penthouse at 6,400 RPM, and reaching those figures produced an internal combustion soundtrack we charitably called gritty. The SUV needed an engine better suited to Infiniti's overall aspirations, one that would help reinforce the QX60's position as Infiniti's bestseller in the US. For 2025, Infiniti delivered that new engine, well, new to the QX60 at least. The turbocharged 2.0-litre four-cylinder VC turbo, named for its variable compression ratio, rolled out with the 2019 QX50, making this mill a hand-me-up. The engine does come with perks, but it also confers a number of newfound drawbacks. Looking at our test data, it's clear that the QX60 needs more than slick engine tech to champion its cause and challenge the competition. Highs, smart looks, better fuel economy can tow 6,000 pounds. The four-cylinder VC turbo in the new QX60 gives up 27 horses to the V6, making 268 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, while producing 16 more pound-feet for 286 pound-feet. Turbocharging sends peak torque to the flywheel at 4,400 RPM. Fuel economy regulations and customer demand are giving small displacement turbo fours their James Brown moment as the hardest working engines in automotive show business. Like the godfather of soul, the power plants work hard and aren't afraid to let you know they're doing it. Unlike the founding father of funk, they don't sound good. The discord isn't specific to Infiniti's unit either, just ask Mercedes-AMG. Hooked up to our microphones, the QX60's cabin proved calm enough at highway speeds, registering the same 67 decibels at 70 miles per hour as in last year's model. Yet when asked to toil around town, the VC turbo's urgent buzzing was especially, well, gritty. Lows. Buzzy engine, slower than the V6, downshifts require dual-factor authentication. The VC turbo serves its greater purpose though, claiming improved fuel economy over the V6. According to EPA figures, the front-wheel drive 2025 QX60 returns 24 miles per gallon overall, which breaks down to 22 miles per gallon in the city and 28 miles per gallon on the highway. That's one tick better overall, one better in the city and two better on the highway. The all-wheel drive 2025 QX60 is rated practically the same as the front driver, giving up just a single mpg on the highway, and it's still rated 2 mpg better across the board than the 2024 QX60 AWD. Just don't expect that to turn into big savings at the pump. Infiniti recommended premium gas for the V6, but didn't insist on it, whereas the four-cylinder demands the top-shelf stuff. The QX60 constantly reminded us that its engineers tuned the powertrain for ultimate fuel parsimony. The gearbox leapt to the highest gear possible as soon as possible, while downshifting first required us to basically complete a written exam. Flipping the shift lever into sport only does the usual, holding a lower gear to quicken throttle response at the expense of fuel economy. If you know you're going to need extra oomph, plan ahead and use the shift paddles. Partly because of the gearbox programming, the new QX60 proved dynamically less than the sum of its parts. Its 4,671 pound curb weight in AWD guise sheds a mere 39 pounds against its V6 powered predecessor. Despite the diet and roughly equivalent output to the V6, we clocked the 4-cylinder QX at 7.5 seconds to 60 miles per hour, 1.3 seconds in arrears of the V6. Mid-range acceleration lagged on account of those reluctant downshifts too. The 2025 QX60 took 4.2 seconds to get from 30 to 50 miles per hour, 0.8 seconds longer than last year's model, and 50 to 70 miles per hour required 1.1 seconds more than it did prior. The family hauler gets winded at the top end too, having covered the quarter mile in 15.9 seconds at 90 miles per hour, exactly 1 second slower than the 2024 QX60. On the same 20-inch wheels as last year's QX60, wearing identical 255/50 Hankook Dynapro HP 2 tires, lateral acceleration declined to 0.8, 2G, 0.3G, worse than before. At least braking distance holds the line, stopping from 70 miles per hour in a decent 171 feet once again. The QX60's core competencies are still satisfactory. It's handsome, especially with the $1,900 Black Edition package over Harbour Grey paint. Inside, there's just enough panache to keep in sight of the premium pack, but it's marginally slower, noisier, and more expensive than before. Our $60,150 tester came to $62,745 with options. And the improved fuel economy won't save buyers much money. Perhaps when plotting the next big QX60 update, Infiniti might consider reaching for a plug-in hybrid powertrain that offers the full breadth of power and fuel economy benefits its bestseller deserves.